Today, we examine the confirmed evidence behind one of the most infamous unsolved cases in American history. People were running, not because they knew who the killer was, but because no one knew where he would strike next. He didn't just kill, he wanted to be remembered. In 1968, 1969, a man terrorized Northern California, attacking strangers and turning murder into a game. He sent letters, he created ciphers, he demanded attention. And then he gave himself a name, the Zodiac. This is the evidence room. Between 1968 and 1969, a killer terrorized Northern California. He didn't just murder his victims, he taunted the police. He sent cryptic letters to newspapers. He created complex ciphers that took decades to solve. He claimed to have killed 37 people. Police confirmed at least 5 murders, possibly 7. Despite one of the largest investigations in California history, despite thousands of suspects, despite DNA evidence and fingerprints, and he was never caught. If you're interested in evidence-based investigations like this, subscribe to the Evidence Room of Dark Case Files. New case files are opened regularly. 56 years later, the case remains open. The killer, if still alive, would be in his 80s or 90s. His identity remains one of the greatest mysteries in American criminal history. This is Case File, the Zodiac Killer. Let's examine the evidence. The first attacks. Our story begins on December 20th, 1968, in Berryessa, California, a small town northeast of San Francisco. The first confirmed victims was on December 20th, 1968. 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen and 17-year-old David Faraday were on their first date. They drove to a remote Lover's Lane area on Lake Herman Road, a popular spot for young couples seeking privacy. At approximately 11 p.m., their evening was interrupted. The evidence shows someone approached their car while they were parked. David Faraday was shot in the head at point-blank range inside the vehicle. Betty Lou ran from the car. She was shot 5 times in the back as she fled. The killer used a .22 caliber semi-automatic weapon. There was no sexual assault. Nothing was stolen. The motive appeared to be murder for the sake of murder. A passing motorist discovered their bodies. David had died instantly, and Betty Lou, same at the scene. Police had few leads, no witnesses, no clear suspect. The case went cold, but the killer wasn't done yet. Then the second attack comes on July 4, 1969. 7 months later, on Independence Day 1969, 22-year-old Darlene Ferrin and 19-year-old Mike Mageau were parked in a secluded area of Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo, California, just 4 miles from the first attack. At approximately midnight, a car pulled up beside them. The driver shone a bright light into their vehicle. Mageau assumed it was a police officer, but when the man got out of the car, he opened fire. The evidence shows the killer used a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. He fired multiple shots into the vehicle. Darlene Ferrin was shot 5 times and died at the scene. Mike Mageau was shot 4 times but survived. This time, there was a witness. Mike Mageau lived. He provided a description. White male, approximately 26 to 30 years old, stocky build, around 200 pounds, 5'8 to 5'9 tall, short brown hair, wore a blue windbreaker. But the most chilling evidence came not from the crime scene, but from a phone call made 1 hour later. The phone call. At 12:40 a.m., a man called the Vallejo Police Department. He spoke calmly, clearly, deliberately. The call was recorded. His words were, "I want to report a double murder. If you will go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway to the public park, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye." The line went dead. The killer had not only confessed to this attack, but to the Lake Herman Road murders 7 months earlier. Police traced the call to a payphone less than a mile from the police station. The killer had been nearby, watching. And then the letters began. The letters. On August 1st, 1969, 3 San Francisco Bay Area newspapers received identical letters. Each letter contained a detailed confession to the 2 attacks, information only the killer could know, a demand: publish this cipher on your front page or I will go on a killing rampage. 1/3 of a cryptogram, a 408-character cipher. The letters were signed with a symbol, a circle with a cross through it. This symbol would become synonymous with terror. The killer wrote, "Dear editor, I am the killer of the 2 teenagers last Christmas at Lake Herman and the girl on the 4th of July. To prove I killed them, I shall state some facts which only I and the police know." He then listed details from the crime scenes that had not been made public. The police knew immediately this was the real killer. The Cipher Challenge. The 408-character cipher was divided into 3 parts. Each newspaper received 1 section. The killer's message to the public was clear: solve this puzzle and you'll understand why I kill. For days, amateur and professional codebreakers attempted to crack the cipher. On August 8, 1969, just 7 days after the letters were published, a high school teacher named Donald Hardin and his wife Betty solved it. The decoded message read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all. To kill something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all the people I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name, because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of slaves for my afterlife." This was not a random killer. This was someone who killed for pleasure, someone who believed murder was a game, someone who thought himself superior to law enforcement. And he was just getting started. The name reveals itself. On August 7th, 1969, the killer sent another letter to the San Francisco Examiner. For the first time, he gave himself a name. "Dear editor, this is the Zodiac speaking." From that moment forward, he would be known as the Zodiac Killer. He proceeds to kill more victims. The Lake Berryessa attack on September 27, 1969. 22-year-old Cecilia Shepard and 20-year-old Brian Hartnell were enjoying a picnic at Lake Berryessa, approximately 60 miles north of San Francisco. At around 4:30 p.m., a man approached them. He wore an unusual costume, a black executioner-style hood covering his entire head and face, the zodiac symbols sewn in white on the chest of his hood, dark clothing. He carried a gun and a knife. He told them he was an escaped convict and needed their car and money. He ordered them to lie face down on the ground, then tied them up with plastic clothesline. And then he attacked. The evidence shows he stabbed Cecilia Shepard 10 times in the back. He stabbed Brian Hartnell 6 times in the back. Brian survived by playing dead. Cecilia died 2 days later from her injuries. But this time, the Zodiac made a critical mistake. He left evidence. After the attack, he walked to their car and wrote on the door with a black marker, "Vallejo, 12/20/68, 7/4/69, September 27th, 69, 6:30, by knife." Beneath this, he drew his symbol. He had documented his own crimes, and he called police to report it. I want to report a murder. No, a double murder. They are 2 miles north of park headquarters. They were in a white Volkswagen Karmann Ghia. But it wasn't a double murder. Brian Hartnell survived. For the first time, the Zodiac had a surviving victim who saw his face, or at least his build, and heard his voice. The final confirmed murder, October 11th, 1969. 2 weeks later, in San Francisco, 29-year-old cab driver Paul Stine picked up a passenger in the upscale Presidio Heights neighborhood. What happened next was different from the Zodiac's previous attacks. The evidence shows the passenger asked to be driven to the intersection of Washington and Maple Streets. When they arrived, the killer shot Paul Stine once in the head with a 9mm pistol. The killer then tore off a piece of Stine's blood-stained shirt. He took Stine's wallet and keys. The murder was witnessed by teenagers across the street who called police. Police arrived within minutes. Officers actually passed a white male walking away from the scene, but due to a dispatch error describing the suspect as black, they didn't stop him. The Zodiac escaped. Days later, he sent a letter to the San Francisco Chronicle with a piece of Paul Stine's shirt enclosed as proof. I am the murderer of the taxi driver. To prove this, here is a piece of his blood-stained shirt. He also mocked the police for nearly catching him. The SF police could have caught me last night, but they let their suspect go. School children make nice targets. I think I shall wipe out a school bus some morning, just shoot out the front tire and then pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out. This threat prompted law enforcement to place guards on school buses throughout the Bay Area for weeks. The Zodiac had gone from murdering young couples to threatening children. Panic spread across Northern California. The investigations. The Zodiac case became one of the largest manhunts in California history. The evidence. Physical evidence collected included fingerprints found on Paul Stine's cab, palm print found on a payphone, handwriting samples from multiple letters, DNA recovered from stamps on envelopes, survivor descriptions from Brian Hartnell and Mike McGow, composite sketches created from witness accounts, ballistics, bullets from crime scenes, clothing fibers from crime scenes. Despite all this evidence, no arrest was ever made. The suspects. Over the decades, multiple suspects were investigated. Arthur Lee Allen, most famous suspect, convicted child molester, lived in Vallejo, owned a Zodiac brand watch. Friends reported he talked about hunting humans. Handwriting didn't match. DNA didn't match. Fingerprints didn't match. Never charged. Richard Gaikowski worked at a San Francisco newspaper, lived in the Bay Area during attacks. Voice print analysis suggested possible match. No physical evidence linked him. Never charged. Lawrence Kane was in the area during attacks, had history of violence. The victim's friend said he resembled the man Darlene Ferrin was afraid of. No definitive evidence. Died in 2010. And dozens more. Despite thousands of suspects investigated, no one has ever been definitively identified as the Zodiac Killer. The ciphers. The Zodiac sent 4 ciphers to newspapers. 408 cipher, solved in 1969. 340 cipher, solved in 2020, 51 years later. 13 cipher, unsolved. 32 cipher, unsolved. In December 2020, a team of codebreakers finally solved the 340 cipher. It read, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner." Even after 50 years, the Zodiac was still taunting investigators from beyond time. Why was he never caught? So why, despite all the evidence, was the Zodiac never caught? Reason 1. Lack of forensic technology. In 1968 to 1969, law enforcement lacked DNA analysis, not available until 1980s, computer databases for tracking suspects, advanced fingerprint matching systems, nationwide communication networks, surveillance cameras. The Zodiac operated in an era where criminals could more easily disappear. Reason 2. Jurisdictional complications. The Zodiac killed in multiple counties: Benicia, Solano County, like Berryessa, Napa County, San Francisco County. Different police departments, different sheriffs, limited coordination. Information wasn't shared efficiently. Reason 3. He stopped, probably. The last confirmed Zodiac letter was in 1974. The last confirmed murder was in 1969. Theories for why he stopped: he died, he was incarcerated for another crime, he moved away, or he simply stopped killing. Serial killers who stop are nearly impossible to catch because they leave no new evidence trail. Reason 4. He was careful. The Zodiac wore gloves, sometimes, wore payphones far from crime scenes, chose isolated locations, struck quickly and left immediately, varied his methods. He never had a personal connection to victims. He was organized, methodical, and intelligent. And reason 5. Lucky timing. On multiple occasions, he narrowly avoided capture. Police passed him on the street after the Stein murder. Witnesses saw him, but not clearly enough for definitive ID. He called from payphones and disappeared before traced. Luck played a role in his ability to evade capture. Theories and modern developments. In recent years, new technologies have reopened the investigation. DNA analysis. DNA extracted from envelopes, saliva from licking stamps, genealogical DNA databases used, partial profiles developed. No definitive match yet, but in 2018, this method caught the Golden State Killer, proving it can work. Zodiac Speaking documentary 2007, alleged new victim identified, Sherry Jo Bates, 1966. Evidence suggesting Zodiac may have started earlier. Connection disputed by some investigators. Casebreakers claim 2021. Private investigation team claimed to identify Zodiac, named deceased Air Force veteran. FBI and police have not confirmed. Evidence remains circumstantial. The case today. As of 2024, case remains open and active. FBI still investigates tips. DNA technology continues to improve. Cold case units remain dedicated. If the Zodiac is still alive, he would be between 80 and 95 years old. Most investigators believe he is deceased, but the case will never truly close until definitive proof of his identity emerges. Conclusion. The Zodiac Killer is confirmed to have murdered at least 5 people, possibly 7. He claimed 37 victims, but this number has never been verified. What we know for certain: he operated in Northern California between 1968 and 1969. He sent taunting letters and ciphers to newspapers. He was never caught, and his identity remains unknown. What remains a mystery? Who was he? Why did he stop? Did he kill more people than confirmed? Is he still alive? Will we ever know the truth? The Zodiac case changed American criminal investigation. It led to better interagency cooperation, development of FBI profiling techniques, public awareness of serial killers, and advances in forensic technology. 5 victims died, families were destroyed, a region lived in fear, and somewhere a killer walked free. Perhaps he's watching this video right now. Perhaps he died decades ago, taking his secret to the grave. Perhaps someone who knows is still protecting him. The evidence remains. The investigation continues. The mystery endures. If you have any information about the Zodiac Killer, contact the FBI or the San Francisco Police Department. This has been the Evidence Room. Some killers are caught, some cases are solved, but some mysteries remain forever in the dark. If you're fascinated by unsolved cases like this, subscribe to the Evidence Room for more deep dives into history's most compelling mysteries. Hit that like button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. Which case should we investigate next? Your support helps us keep examining the evidence and searching for the truth. Until next time, keep questioning, keep investigating, and remember, the evidence never lies. But sometimes, it's just not enough to catch a killer.